So I am not a big comic book person, but I don't think it takes a comic book fan, aficionado, guru to realize that Marvel has been kicking DC's butt for quite some time. And so I'm always curious when the board meeting happened at Marvel, where they just decided they were going to throw out all this content and just start beating up DC. Because I thought we were all fine and happy and we were friends, but apparently not. So I'm curious who asked to begin the one sided butt whooping of Marvel versus DC.
That is a wonderful question. And I, as a comic book nerd, I will age myself and fall into that group. As a comic book nerd, I think it just all started with the feud between the two major heroes. By feud, I honestly feel like it's one-sided because who's counting? But I feel like the fight between the aliens that came to Earth to protect Earth caused one of the biggest rifts in comic books,
Really?
really. I
Hmm.
think I think the creation of heroes to fall into the category of the 2 teams, so and by the 2 teams, I mean Avengers versus Justice League. I can't say I have a better knowledge of fans going against each other than the fans of Superman versus the fans of Thor. It gets kinda ugly. It does.
You know what's super funny about that? So, Superman is my favorite DC hero, and he's so cool to me that he's tattooed on my calf. And Thor is your favorite Marvel hero. That
Yeah,
explains so much about us. That's it right there.
that's it
That's
right there.
not that I actually don't like dislike Thor or anything. He's just not my favorite Marvel person. And my reason for Superman being my favorite DC person is pretty simple, but we'll get to that later. So, I mean, I never thought of it that way, but I that makes a lot of sense. Not to mention Avengers versus Justice League, like if you're doing your lineup of my side versus your side kind of thing.
Right.
Um, the timing, so for me, the timing's all weird because you have Marvel, everything's like out of order.
Mhm.
Um, there are different ways you can literally just Google what is the correct order to watch MCU movies, or you could put MC movies in chronological order, whatever. Everybody, to include the people that call themselves fans, not the diehards, but the people that are like, "Oh, I've been around since the beginning." Everybody forgets about the '08 Hulk.
Right.
And and that's because you had Iron Man 2, then Hulk chronologically, but Hulk came out before. And so timeline wise, it just not to mention the recasting kind of who people
Mm.
forget. So that wasn't great. Um and then you have Iron Man, Thor, the Avengers, Iron Man, Thor, then you get Captain America. So like it was just Iron Man and Thor for like what is that, 4 years?
Mhm.
Just ooh ah, who's this guy? And then you've got all your Avengers stuff and Shield comes up somewhere in there. So, Marvel just gave you a bunch of content out of what felt like nowhere. And
Yeah.
DC was sitting there kind of like, ruh we should put out content, yes? And the content they put out asthma Batman wasn't doing it for anybody. We waited all this time for DC to give us something, and you gave me asthma Batman. And you didn't just give me one, you gave me three. Uh, well, no, put it back, try again. And I mean, I can say I sat there, ooh, yay, because where there is Batman, there is Superman. So
Right.
you have to kind of root for your rival because if your rival, I mean, you had a whole Batman versus Superman movie, and I was just sitting there like, oh man, this is great. This is not great. This not great. Yeah. Um, unpopular opinion, maybe Lego Batman was better than Batman.
No, that's not unpopular.
Like that, like I just I don't want to upset anybody, but I thought Lego Batman was awesome. It was I don't know if they meant for it to be that funny or if I'm just it's that easy to make me laugh, but that was great. How many
Here's
Lego
my
Batmans are there?
one.
There's
One.
2.
We
There's 2.
did we get a second one? I don't feel like we got a second
Yeah,
one.
there's 2 because this in the second one the lady sings saying she's not evil and he's like, "Yeah, she's being sarcastic, but she's really like not being evil." You serious? You don't remember what I'm talking about? We watched it with the
The
kids.
second no, Lego Movie got a second one. Lego Batman
Is
has
that
not.
not Lego Batman?
No.
Oh, you're right. It's the guy. You're right. Oh
Yeah,
well. Point remains
yeah.
the same. Lego's hilarious, and by them merging the two of those, I was like, oh, that's how you save Batman. Okay.
That's how you say
And the Lego Batman video game ain't half bad either.
it. True.
It's actually kind of hard for the kids. I don't understand.
Here's my thing. With Batman, every Batman fan I have ever met, none of them like the Batman movies. None of them. All of them are fans of Batman because of the comic book. So, as a comic book person within this argument, I can understand people liking Batman from the comic books. The movie versions of Batman, no. No. His character flaws are just too many. The only time that I liked a version of Batman was when I was watching, gosh, Gotham, the TV show. Even though he was a kid, I understood that version of Batman. Any other version of Batman, I'm just like, "Why are we doing this? What is the point?"
I will say Batman as a kid is a really interesting thing to watch.
Yeah,
Nobody I don't nobody else, like, besides Barry Allen, do you get to see as a kid.
right.
Um, Aquaman, you see as a young adult, but not like a teenager.
Teenager.
So, um, like, as far as origin stories go, they didn't even present that as, like, an origin story, more so a present time, this is just what's occurring type thing.
Right.
Um I always say, and this is where me and Batman fans fight, so let's get it. Put the gloves on. Batman's not a superhero. He's a vigilante, spoiled rich kid that is angry about what happened in the past. And what's his butler assistant dude's name?
Alfred.
That's your real superhero. Like seriously. I mean, that's the guy you should be afraid of. That's who sneaks up on you in an alley and you're like, "Ooh, prefer not to be here." But I am not worried about you at all, Bruce. Okay, you just throwing that out there. Um, that's been my stance on Batman my entire life. And it's really funny because there are people that I don't get along with, and I later find out that they like Batman, and I'm like, "Huh, I
That's
didn't even
wild.
realize it, but, like, this makes so much sense now." And for me, if it's summer and I'm in shorts and you see my Superman tattoo, like, okay, there you go. But if you've never seen it, I don't just walk around telling people I'm a Superman fan. I have a poster in my room, but if you haven't been in my room, you haven't seen it. So it's not on, it was on two of my old cars. It's not on my current car. So if you knew me back then to see that, then you kind of know. But I don't walk around looking for fights between Batman, Superman. I'm not that invested. I mean, I'll talk about it if you bring it up, but I'm not just gonna walk up to you. Like, if you've got a Batman tattoo on your arm, I'm not just gonna go, Batman sucks. I don't care enough for that. I don't get paid for that. So I like what I like, but I'm not about to fight over it.
Yeah, like it is what it is. But to get to the topic at hand today, we will be expanding upon our top 5 character lists. Um, do you have a preference as to which group we start with?
I would like to start with DC heroes. We're gonna do villains next podcast.
Yep.
So DC heroes, top five, followed by Marvel heroes, and let's go 5 to 1.
Okay.
Uh, are you ready to go first, or do you want me to? So
Um,
actually, let me go first because I'm gonna pick heroes that people actually know. You, because you're a comic book person, you're gonna go a little deeper.
okay.
So just let me help the regular people, such as myself, um, get through this.
Okay.
So, I say that, but then I'm about to throw out one that most people, myself included, did not realize was a DC character. And this actually brings up a good point about DC getting their butt kicked by Marvel because you started with this movie, in my opinion, and then you didn't keep running. I'm actually going to
Okay.
cheat and Google for the year for this to just make my point.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. So, my number 5. And I'm
Okay.
also going to pull up a sticky note so I can write these down so that I don't make a list of 10 and you're just like, why are you still talking? Um, Number 5 is Jonah Hex. Now,
Wow.
tell me about it. So Jonah Hex is a anti-hero is a good word.
Yeah.
Hero accidentally. Like, he doesn't want to be a hero, but the whole damsel in distress thing, he's like, "Oh man, I loved the absolute heck out of this movie. This movie got me so hyped. Don't have me lying and saying that it was because I was excited about Jonah Hex. No, it was not. I was excited over that damsel in distress. Let me go save Megan Fox. Anyway, because that's during Transformers and all that too. So, like, she was on her rise. She jumped into another movie. I was like, yep, we're watching it. But Jonah Hex, I had no idea that was DC. Like, I went and saw the movie without actually knowing the story because she was in it and he looked like he was just going to shoot anything that moved. And those two things go really well for me when it comes to a movie. Um, Side note, if anyone has HBO Max with your subscription, this movie is included. So if you don't know what I'm talking about and you seem slightly interested in it, hop to it. I might finish this podcast and go watch it my darn self. Uh, anyway, Jonah Hex. I
Okay.
don't know if you're gonna allow me to make him a hero, but what an
No.
underrated. hero.
I can be with that one. Yeah. I
Yeah,
I can be with that one.
I heard the surprise in your voice there, so I was like, she cool with that?
I'll let you have that one. I've got one that's gonna be you're gonna fight me with it, but it's gonna be okay.
It's fine. Um, this is not my top 5, but I wanna do an honorable mention for the Justice League kids is what I like to call them, Beast Boy.
Mm. Aw.
Um, honorable mention, he's like 7 or 8. Um, number 4,
Okay.
back to naming people that, people know. Uh, see, here's the problem with making him 4 and Jonah Hex being 5. I'm gonna have to choose between oh gosh. Oh gosh. Wait a minute. I'm thinking. Please hold. Nope, you know what? No. Just bite me. Your feelings are just gonna have to be hurt. Mr. Barry Allen himself.
Ow.
Uh I like him. I do not love him. I like him. Good story. Love the show. I thought that if you're not gonna do it in the movie, but you're gonna give me a show, I thought The Flash going up against Shield, like how they were like opposite seasons of each other, and then at one point there was the crossover where you had to like choose between which one you were gonna watch, which one you were gonna record. I
Mhm.
always chose Shield, but I thought that was nice little run that they had. Um, I don't have much to say about Barry Allen, good or bad. I just feel like Flash is a character we can all like kind of get down with. Like
Okay.
we've all had, you know how you get asked the question, which superpower do you want? And people are like, read minds,
Mhm.
fly. The
Right.
option of being fast and like literally teleporting could help you in any space of your life. How many times have you been late to work, but you tried everything in your power to be on time, but everything went wrong? Now imagine being Barry Allen. It literally changes your life. Fly? Why would I fly there? Poof, now I'm there. Just saying. I just feel like if you don't like Barry Allen, you're trying too hard, right? um
Absolutely.
so number 3 may surprise some people after what I just said. But you can't have a DC list and not put him on there. So he's lucky you're lucky I didn't make him 5. The Bat Guy. Um Batman has a lot of issues. And I'm not saying that because I prefer Superman, because Superman has a lot of issues too. He's an alien that is allowed to do whatever he wants, and that is not okay. Batman, uh, why Batman don't be killing people? Why beat you to a pulp to put you in jail for you to break out and we just keep going through this? Like, the taxpayers of Gotham need to rise up, if I may. Because I'm not gonna keep walking out my front door and Penguin over here losing his mind again. And Joker and Harley are over here plotting again. Do your job, Bat Sir. Just saying. Moving forward, before I go on a rant about the rat. Number 2, the woman herself, the woman of my wonders. Uh, yep, yep, she's her. And I like her, and she's good, and she's pretty, and she flies,
Pretty.
and yep, I like her. She's cool. Um, not not much else. You got anything, or you good there?
You could say her name. That would be nice.
Wonder Woman? I just thought it was kind of Kinda obvious there, but okay. Um, and number one, if anyone would like to take a guess, I'll give you a second.
It's Superman. I
Votes
don't
are in. John Constantine. So,
John Constantine.
uh,
He was I can't with you.
no, no, well,
That's not
isn't
even
isn't Constantine technically a villain though?
Yes.
Right, yeah. No,
Yeah.
Constantine is not my favorite. I'm just joking with you. Although super cool, honorable mention, he'd probably be if you were to allow me to make him a hero, because much like Jonah Hex, he ends up in the "oh shucks, I gotta save him," you know.
Right.
Uh no, my number one is Superman. Um Clark Kent himself. I honestly, honestly, I don't know why I'm such a huge Superman fan. I just remember since being a kid, he was my guy. So I want to say maybe the show was still coming on. And so maybe I was watching the show or my dad was watching the show. Um, I recall my dad having a white shirt with the red and yellow Superman logo. And it was his around the house, clean the yard, cut the grass shirt. Like it wasn't a pretty shirt by no means. But I just have these very short little instances where I feel like Superman was just kind of implanted that I'd like him, and here we are. But I don't have any specific reason other than I just really can't stand Batman. And when I was little, those were just your two. I didn't have the big knowledge that I have now about Justice League, and like there's hundreds of heroes that you've like never heard. So if I was doing a top 10, my list would include, some people that other people aren't really familiar with. But I said for the sake of like going against you, I'd pick people that people knew. So,
Yeah,
uh,
which my my list, honestly, for this, I feel like people know these characters. Like they should. Like we've come in contact with them in some cinematic places other than the comic books. So I honestly read an equal amount of both Marvel and DC Comics. Um my list honestly is very specific. I will
oh
fight
boy.
with anyone on this list
Oh
because of the
boy.
fact that I only cared for and was interested in continuing reading certain forms of these characters. I'm gonna say that.
Can I ask you a question before you get started?
Yes.
Is Black Lightning on your list?
No.
Black Lightning is number 6 for me. 6 or 7. Right there, just missed the cut. Because Black Lightning is someone that I didn't know about, but then once I knew about him was like super intrigued by. And so because I don't know as much about him, can't really crack the top 5.
Right.
But I mean we're like right there, you know? It's but okay. I just wanted to see because Black Lightning is I mean not new, but getting some recognition lately.
Mention. Yeah.
All right, continue.
All right. So my number 5 is one that I know you may not have known what his name was, but you're probably gonna be familiar with the character. My number 5 is Dick Grayson. Um, for anyone who is not part of the clan of people that read comic books and have no clue who Dick Grayson is, Dick Grayson is the name for the original Robin, who later becomes a character known as Nightwing. Nightwing for me is one of those heroes that did not get the cinematic reveal that he deserved, and I don't think he's ever going to get it because of the way that they've gone about setting up the Justice League. Especially because you've gone in and you've rang in Cyborg earlier than you were supposed to. I'm still upset that they have set this up in such a way that we can't have a Teen Titans, and we should have a because that is where we get Nightwing. The transitional period between being Batman's sidekick to I have teenage angst, but I still want to save the world to now I am an adult man saving the world is the chain of events that he needed, and you didn't give it to him. So I'm sorely upset with DC, but to me, he's pretty great to be in number 5. Um, my number 4 is a little biased. I'm sorry, guys. I have a thing for Green Lantern, but in the comic books, my favorite Green Lantern was John Stewart. For
You
anyone that
you
doesn't
you
know,
you That's
John
right.
Stewart was the Black Green Lantern. His
What?
storyline John Stewart is the Black Green Lantern, and his
I was being
storyline
funny.
was so much more compelling than any other Green Lantern storyline. Like, it was
Can
so
I
much cooler
say,
to me.
as a regular comic person, so there's a little bit of comics and there's mostly movies. When people talk about Green Lantern, they always specify which Green Lantern they're talking about. No one does that with any other character.
Nope.
They always specify. So like how you just specified Robin like through the timeline, most people don't do that. But when it
Nope.
comes to Green Lantern, oh my gosh, you have to. Well, which one? Because I mean, who's the other one? Kyle.
Kyle, yeah.
Like the difference between John and Kyle is like what? Like don't even come at me with that. That is so funny that you would do that. And for anyone that's like, what? There's more than one Green Lantern. Peace be with you. Have fun. Don't say that out loud.
Don't ever say that out loud. Um, my number 3 is a character that I know no one is gonna know who the heck she is unless they saw a side of DC when they tried to do the spinoff known as Birds of Prey. Um, she was my very favorite character within the Birds of Prey TV series. The character's name is Gypsy. Gypsy is so mysterious, but so cool. Like, it's one of those things that if you've never seen Birds of Prey, I definitely recommend you going to see it. Um, and I believe at one point in time they were talking about bringing it to Netflix. I hope that they do. The Bird of Prey comics to me, artistry wise, these characters were drawn magnificently. And she is one of the few characters that I kinda related to because we still don't know how she ended up with her power, and I'm still trying to figure it out. But the fact that she was just this, at one point in time, I'm assuming, regular teenage girl who then just woke up one day and had the ability to shift things around her, it was interesting for me, and I often think about her. Um, my number 2, you're gonna fight with me on whether or not she's a hero, and I don't care. Harleen Quinzel. And feature her as a hero because of the transition she makes in Suicide Squad. I'm not talking about Joker's Harley Quinn. I'm not. That was a villain. Okay. When you mix Mr. J with her, she's a villain. But on her own, being a part of Suicide Squad and the lovely way that they portrayed her when they gave her her own movie, she is a hero and she's my number 2. Yeah, I would in any given breath give anything to be her. So Harley Quinn, I love you. Um,
Honestly, I'm not mad
yeah.
at that because I feel like she's only like you said, like she's only a villain when he's around. Separate her from him, she thinks on her own. She she can be a wonderful teammate. You can
Yes.
talk some sense into her, and she can flip it and lead. When she's with Joker, he's in charge. It's all for the bad, and it's like her brain goes to mush. Like she doesn't
She acts
you
like a woman in love.
she can't do anything without his permission. Not so much that he's controlling her, but because she's letting him. Like it's a 50-50 thing there. So I'm cool with that. I don't think anyone would think that, but of course, anyone that knows you have a sick obsession with that woman. So I'm just surprised she's
I
not
really
number
do.
one.
I
It's
really
whatever.
do. I really do have a sick obsession with her, and I'm not upset about it. Um, my number 1 spot, and I'm surprised you don't know who number 1 is when she's not number 1. My number 1 spot goes to the lovely
Really, I
Da
know it. Yeah, yeah. Now that I said that out loud, but well, maybe I don't. I don't know. I'm gonna mute myself because if I might yell into the mic. So go ahead.
The reason why she's muting is she's just like, "Why would you you suck." The other DC character that I have a weird and odd obsession with is Wonder Woman. I'm sorry, she's my number 1, and I just cannot let her go. Like, uh, an entire island of Amazons. An entire island of Amazons. Not only are they, like, just incredibly gorgeous, but they're incredibly strong, and then they have a rope that makes you tell the truth. Do you know what I would give to have the lasso of truth right now? Like, it's mwah, like,
I mean,
it's
heck, in
greatness.
today's world, that'd be super dangerous. But okay, I mean, in the name of helping mankind or whatever.
I
Uh,
cannot, like, it's greatness. I just yes.
so
Yes,
I
yes.
can I can feel the feminism troop rising. You, not me. You left off Raven. Why is that?
Here's the deal.
Oh boy.
I I love Raven, don't get me wrong. Raven is if this was a woman's list, then Raven would be on the list. It's because we made the agreement that this was all heroes, all time top 5. She doesn't make the top 5, she makes the top 10. Raven and I have a love-hate relationship sometimes because you have to also look at her backstory. So with Raven, she is one of those heroes that also, like Harley Quinn, lives on that borderline of being evil because in the process of finding herself as a hero, you're also fighting against your true nature and where you came from. Just like honorable mention, Starfire. They both are entities that within our world are extremely, extremely powerful, but also could be extremely, extremely dangerous. I, as much as I love Raven, I feel like she did not get enough for me to include her in this list because I didn't read many of those comics. And the ones that I did read, I was more interested in Robin than I was her. And I guess
No, that's
because
totally acceptable.
And I think that's because that's how they were written. They were written more so for you to pay attention to the male characters than these females that were basically backing him. I know that there are probably some female comic book fans that are going to rip my eyes out for saying that, but that's the truth. Within comic books, I have yet to see anyone other than Wonder Woman herself get an entire comic geared toward her.
Okay. No, that's acceptable. So I I don't know how you feel about her, but I have a woman that I dropped a couple spots for the same reason I dropped a couple of guys, which is I just don't know that much about you, and I can't have one movie or one comic and make you top five. That's not fair. Because there might be a really crappy one out there, but because I didn't see it, it doesn't count. Like that's not fair. So I left off Catwoman. I just don't have enough evidence about Catwoman. Like you're not telling me Catwoman's
Mm.
amazing just because
Yeah,
so, like, again, I'm saying this from the movie perspective. You can't tell me Catwoman sucks because Halle Berry's movie sucked, and then you're gonna tell
mhm,
me Anne Hathaway saved it. Like, neither of those things are
mm,
actually true. Those were
right.
actually 2 different movies because they were made at 2 different times.
Yeah,
So, all movies that have remakes, even if you're going the James Bond route, where it's not necessarily a remake, if you have a different actor or actress play that character, it is different. Well, what I was saying about the original Hulk,
mm,
so '08 Hulk versus any of the other Hulks, including just regular appearances, stop
right.
comparing them. Not the same thing. So remember what we were saying about oh shoot, what's his name that has all the different versions of him? Your guy
Green
on your
Lantern.
list. Green Lantern. Okay. So there's Black Green Lantern, and then you start getting into all your other favorites. Uh, people say, and I say people because I don't share this belief, but they say that like Hal is the best Green Lantern.
Mm,
Um, yeah, Hal Jordan. Uh, I I honestly wouldn't know. Honestly, I would just have to if someone was like, my favorite Green Lantern is Hal Jordan. I would just have to say okay. I would just have to let you have it. So that's why Green Lantern just doesn't make my list because there's too many to choose from, and I don't have the evidence to choose which one's my favorite. I'm not picking John Stewart just because he's black. That doesn't bother me at all. Um, Aquaman. I don't know enough about Aquaman to just be throwing you on my top five. Uh,
right.
I greatly disliked that movie with Jason Momoa, but I loved watching Jason Momoa, and that again, Halle Berry. Love you. I couldn't stand Catwoman.
Oh, I like that.
Jason Momoa. Love you. I couldn't stand Aquaman. So I'm not gonna sit there and play that game. But and then we both left out Green Arrow.
Yeah, I don't know
Top
enough.
10. I don't know. And then so I am into this person simply for her name because I just feel like she's just really cool. But I mean, she might be 9 or 10, but Black
Okay.
Canary.
Okay, she's part of the group with Gypsy for,
Yeah.
Birds of Prey.
Right. So that's me having to do like more evidence of that just because comic book wise, we're talking about what, the 60s? So
Yeah.
we're talking pretty deep in comic book stuff. Not to mention she's highly sexualized, so
Okay. Oh, yeah.
you have to be careful when you just Google things like Black Canary comic. You might end up on some spicy websites. But
Spicy, spicy.
so that concludes DC.
Yeah.
Um, I'm super surprised by your list. The fact that you decided you wanted to list people by their name is disgusting. Nobody
Come
asked
on.
for that. Thank you. But we're gonna have a lot of fun with doing the villains though, because
Villains are gonna be so much fun.
yeah, I actually want to go even deeper with villains and specify like which movie or comic we're actually talking about because to say Joker means that you've heard someone talk about Batman. That doesn't
Mm,
count.
yeah.
That doesn't mean anything. So do you want to start, Marvel?
Uh, I can. This one's Marvel's easier for me, actually.
Really? Because you spouted off DC like it was just written in front of you.
That's because I
I
took the time
thought
to
that
actually write it.
I thought that me saying Jonah Hex was gonna be a what, and then you start
I've
with
seen Jonah
no,
Hex. Yeah, no, I've seen Jonah Hex,
no.
so
I
I
just
was
I was
excited. I was
saying
like, "Oh,
I thought it would just mean more, but then you
need
slaughtered
more."
me with your list, so that
Did
sucked.
I? I don't think
I
I did.
okay,
Alright. So,
okay.
all of the Marvel universe, please understand, my number 1 is probably gonna make some people a little agitated. I don't care, I'm here for it.
Can I
But
say something? This might mess up your list.
uh,
Are we including X-Men or we're
yes,
not? We
yes,
are including X-Men. Oh, good lord.
yes.
Okay. Sure
We're
glad
doing
I
all
asked. Jeez.
we're doing all of Marvel, boo. All of it.
No. Okay, I gotta I nope, I gotta stop you. We need to do a third list of X-Men. That is not okay. That is
No, because that
no,
ruins
come
my
on.
list. That
No,
ruins
it
my
ruins my list. Like, oh gosh.
let me have my
Okay,
list.
you know
You're
what?
about
You know
you're gonna
what?
do my list.
The fact that you're going first gives me time to fix the oh my gosh. I may not even pay attention to you. Goodbye. Seriously, like you I wasn't ready for that at all. She
She
might have just ruined
wasn't
this whole we might
ready.
as well just end the podcast here because I'm not even you're by yourself on this one. I don't even know. Like I think
Oh,
I'm good
come
here.
on. But see,
Doot,
here's
doot,
the thing,
doot.
like, even though my DC li making a list for DC is harder for me, because again, I read more Marvel comics. So, my Marvel list is so easy for me to do. Everybody's gonna know who these characters are because Marvel did a great job of letting us all see all of these characters. All right. So, my number 5, which I'm gonna go ahead and let you know, 3 of mine are women.
Great.
Duh.
What good.
Um, but number 5 is Jean Grey. This is why I said you had to let me have X-Men. She's number 5.
Yeah,
Um,
but
Jean Grey.
is a murderer.
Jean Grey is so compelling. I'm sorry. She's just awesome. And the fact that they went back, gave you her childhood, how she got there, then you turn her into what she was supposed to be, which was the Phoenix. It was just yes. All of that was entertaining and yes. I loved all of it. Okay. Hmm. Number 4. Number 4 comes is some shock to maybe my counterpart on the other side of this,
Oh,
but no shock to anyone else. My number 4 is Doctor Strange. Um, he is definitely he's such a mystery and his story was so good. Ugh, like, I feel like they tried to capture all of his weirdness in the movie, and they did a great job because they picked the right actor, but I have a love-hate relationship with the Strange Doctor, and every time I pick up one of those comics, I kid you not, I get completely and utterly just mind screwed, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Alright, so top 3. top 3. Number 3, I have a love-hate relationship with her only because she makes me infuriated with the way they have portrayed her in all of the movies that they have put her in. It infuriates me, and I don't know what I have to do to get them to fix it. I am talking about Rogue. Rogue as a character, w in the comic books, she's so much more than what the movies portrayed her to be. Rogue was definitely that character that was supposed to be the foundation for the breakoff for X-Men, and it didn't happen, and it's frustrating. I strongly wish that we could have gotten to see more of her and that they go back maybe and give us more in the X-Men franchise to talk about her life after she became an X-Men because they never talked about it, and it sucked. But again, I understand movies and not everybody can can do that. Number 2, and the last girl on the list is Black Widow. I have not seen the new Black Widow movie. I cannot wait. I'm just wanting Disney Plus to move a little bit faster on this to let the regular people see it that are not gonna pay you guys extra. Cause no. Um, I feel like going from when we first met her to when she met her demise in Endgame,
Good
she's just
lord, spoiler alert, my goodness.
Oh, come on, if you haven't seen it by now.
Shut your pie hole, it took me 6 months to see it.
Yeah, but now we're years later. Guys, if you did not know
Dude,
that if you
dude,
did know that,
extenuating circumstances, you don't know, okay?
yeah,
Alright,
yeah,
never mind then.
if you know, you know, and she is how I know my orientation. Because even in the comic books, I was in love with her. She's a badass and who I wish to be. And there are people that will argue with me that the bigger badass would be Captain Marvel. And no, she's the badass. Sorry, don't care. She's the one. And number one, which comes to no surprise to my wife when she realized who number one is, number one is Deadpool. It's Deadpool. Because this it's Deadpool. How is he not your favorite? In anything, how is Deadpool not your favorite? He happens to be probably the funniest hero in all comics, and he's another one of those anti-heroes because he doesn't care about breaking the fourth wall, even in the comic books. He doesn't give a crap about, "Oh, don't kill people. Oh, the villain should get to live." He didn't give a crap. He didn't care. He does not care, and I 1000% am here for it. And the fact that he was played when they finally did bring him into cinema by the world's greatest a-hole was just, yes, I accept. If they make 20 of these movies of just different segments and him becoming more Deadpool-y, I am with it. I just yes. 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 And with that, I am done. Did you have time?
Great, yeah, okay, whatever. Um, I'm actually not surprised by any of those, and we have one person in common. and they're
Okay.
not in the same spot.
Okay.
They're one person. They're one spot apart, actually.
Oh.
Um, Side note for anyone else who has not seen Black Widow, and like you have Disney Plus, but you're not doing the premium access, and you're not going to the theater. The official date that it's going to come down to the little people, as you said, is
Right.
October 6th.
Ooh.
We've got a whole 2 months and like a week.
Yeah.
So, um, I'm not saying I'm going to watch it like at midnight, but I'm definitely ready for it. I also heard a rumor that it's not just on Disney Plus. It's going to go to other stuff or something. I don't know.
Mhm. I heard that
I don't know
rumor
if
too.
that's like a pirated thing or what, but apparently it's going to be on Prime and Vudu.
I heard that it was going on
So
Prime. I did not hear about because Prime actually Amazon ran an ad for it. So that part I can say I've heard that one, but I have not heard about anywhere else.
see, my thing about the $30 to watch it at home, people are like, well, that's basically what you'd pay at the theater. True, but I
True.
already pay for Disney Plus. So I don't know. I feel like you're perfectly with you're like obviously I can't tell you what to do with your content. You're well within your right to have a premium access and all that. I just don't think it should last this long. This movie came out in the beginning of July.
Yes. I
I
feel
feel
like
like
they're
90 days is a long time. But for the people that are paying for it, the people that like it's their job to review movies or they have a more established podcast and had to come on here and say something the next day, I get it. I'm just saying, hey, for us little people, I mean, we'll wait, but we'll cry about it the whole time. So, uh I have made my list. I did not check it twice. I am not Santa Claus. Um, I I am okay with this list. Uh, I only included one X Man,
okay.
and to me, it's the only X Man that counts.
Okay.
So I included him as a an umbrella for the rest of them.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I'll let you guys take a second to think of who that is. Hint: it's not Wolverine. And
Oh, of
it's
course
also not Magneto. So, that being said, it's Professor X.
not.
Um, I spoiler alert, I hated his end. Hated, and that's why I hate Jean. Because
Oh.
Jean killed. Yep. And we're gonna keep going. So that's it for X-Men. Which is not to say that I don't have a top 5 X-Men, but my Supreme Overlord wife wouldn't let me make one. So, number
Ha
4. Huh? What was that?
ha ha ha. We can always revisit this topic. This is a good
We
topic.
could, but we're not going to.
Oh,
Number 4. Number 4, I think will surprise you as it's surprising me a little bit. I didn't realize how much I freaking loved her.
oh, okay.
Scarlet Witch.
I did her as an
Uh,
honorable mention on my list.
I mean, hero, interesting term. She's kind of a Deadpool here because
Yeah.
she was a hero till you kill her brother, and then things got a
Oh,
little.
better.
If you wanna be technical, she was a hero because he thought that was the thing to do, and then him not really, being there. She's like, so what am I fighting for?
Right.
So a bit of a heel turn, if you will, for her. Um,
And then,
But I
oh,
still I like her, like so hero or not, I like her. Good story. Um, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but a good story. There was never a point where I was like, you know what, let's just kill her, right? It didn't get that bad. And I feel like for me, for you to be a villain, I have to want them to get rid of you. And I've never wanted them to get rid of her. So
Mhm.
she's safe. Number three is where we have an agreement. Would you like to guess?
Strange doctor.
It is the Strange Doctor himself. I have liked Strange Doctor since 30 minutes into that movie.
Yeah.
Um, I had no idea he existed. For anyone that wonders why we're calling him Strange Doctor, it's the scene in the movie where he's explaining his name and they go back and forth and he's like, "What's your name?" And I walk around the house doing that dialogue for no reason, almost twice a week, if not
If
like
not
daily.
more.
There are some stretches where I just kind of do it and she's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Cuz." So that's also a movie I might hop off here and just go watch it. It never fails that I jump on Disney Plus, I go to the Marvel section, and I can't decide which Iron Man I want to watch, and I can't decide which Avengers I want to watch. And my tiebreaker is always Doctor Strange, because what? And he has a funny little moment with Loki, and that's always great.
Oh, those are always good.
Uh yeah. So number two. And number two, I might have to make a tie between two people because of an identity issue.
Okay.
Number 2 is Jarvis, but do I make number 2 Vision? How does that work?
Number 2 would be Vision.
Like,
As
Jarvis is dead, or how do you
yes, Jarvis died.
I mean, okay, but then
Jarvis
you
became Vision. So your
that's
answer
what
is
I'm
Vision.
saying. So I refer to I'm saying I refer my thing about this list is much like Batman's device maker, that's who Jarvis is.
Right.
Whereas Vision is more of Tony Stark's assistant that he talks to. So I'm making the difference between the two because Jarvis would like make stuff while Tony's gone. And now that
Right.
Jarvis is gone, Tony has to like make it. So eh. In a world where they both exist at the same time, Jarvis over Vision. How about that?
Okay. But
Just
that
to make my to explain what I'm trying to say here.
right, right.
Um in a world where you reverse the Thanos thing, you can also reverse the Jarvis thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Number one, if you paid attention to any of my previous podcasts, you've heard me say my two posters. So I've got Superman on one side and this guy on the other side. And I just said his name like four times when referring to Jarvis. That would be the Iron One, Tony Stark the Man, or as the rest of you call him, Iron Man, aka Tony Stark. Um, Iron Man's the first Avengers Marvel people that I watched that I was like, ooh, cool. So remember what I said about Hulk being out at the same time as Iron Man? I saw it. I just didn't care. Hulk's never been my guy. I watched Iron Man and I was like, I am Tony Stark. Oh my gosh. That is that is me. Because the idea of being like a tech person, having some money, and obviously aside from being kidnapped and all that, I just find Tony Stark to just be super cool. Doctor Strange as himself as just a doctor, I don't find him to be interesting at all. He's actually he's too smart for his own good, which is what got him into that, right? The spoiler alert accident that ends up, you know, creating the path of him becoming Doctor Strange. Um, Tony Stark, however, much like Bruce Wayne, you don't like have a power without the suit. What is he, right?
Right.
Um, Bruce Wayne without Alfred. What is he? Um, but Iron Man's just if you take away Iron Man for me out of Marvel, what do you have? Which is why after spoiler alert, Endgame, all that stuff happened. I don't know where my Marvel fandom goes. Similarly, by spoiler alert, losing Black Widow, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, I didn't put Black Widow on my list because I didn't want to just echo you. because I knew she'd make your list. Um, but we lost a lot of people in the
Mhm.
Marvel universe. And what they're doing right now with Loki having his show and stuff, I have no idea where we're headed. I
True.
guess that's a good thing. Um, but right but right now, I'm a little heartbroken about Iron Man. And my backup is always, well, what's Black Widow up to? Death is what she's
Yeah.
up to. Okay, great. So, and then I don't know why, but foolishly, I wanted something to brew there with her and Hulk, you know? Not riding off into the sunset, but that whole thing about her being the only one that can calm him down and everything, and then you take her from me. I'm a little upset with Marvel. So I don't know where my fandom goes, but at the same time, what am I gonna do? Go wait 10 more years for DC to throw something out? I think not. So whatever Marvel brings, I'm gonna be forced to watch it. Feel free to give me a Doctor Strange 2, by the way. I'll take that.
Yeah.
A 2,
Feel
a
free for
3,
that.
a 4, just whatever you feel like doing. That's fine. I'm perfect. In fact, if you want to make a show, I'm cool with that. We need to do a podcast on Star Wars.
Yes, yes, we do.
We need to
Um,
do that.
I just want to take a moment for an honorable mention for my list. I would like to take a moment for us to recognize Black Panther, only because he's my number 6. That was
Let
all.
me tell you something. I'm going to get raked over the coals for this one, so let me put my wetsuit on. I have never, and let me tell you never. All right, my window's open, so if the lightning comes, I have never liked Black Panther.
Ah!
Ah, ah, ah. We went to Comic Con the first year we started dating. It was like our first like real date when I felt like an adult, right? We went to Comic Con, and you remember the lady with the stickers
Yes.
for the car, the decals. So I don't remember what the deal was, but we walked out there with like 5 or 6 stickers. So I
Yeah.
got Superman, you got Wonder Woman, and something else. I got my brother Black Panther, and Black Panther's his guy between Black Panther and Flash.
Right.
That's his Marvel DC split. And I put Black Panther on his car, and it's super cool. It is still on his car. He loves Black Panther. I've never cared for it. I've seen the movie. I'm not even joking. Have I seen it 3 times? I think I saw it once when I wanted to, once against my will, and another time it was just like playing in the background. Eh, it is not my thing. I don't know if that's just me not understanding it or what. Do not drag me and say because I'm black I should like Black Panther. Shut your trap. There are plenty of black this or that's that I don't like. Huzzah, there's one. Now, obviously, I'm separating from the man who played Black Panther. I think he's amazing. Like, we
Oh,
lost a really good actor there. I just I don't get the story of Black Panther, if we're being quite honest. I mean, okay, vibranium, good. People want it that shouldn't have it. You killed my dad. Well, your dad was bad. Well, I'm going to steal the throne from you. You can't do that. And, like, you're saying that Black Panther is supposed to be the king and stuff. Did he not get taken out 3 times? I also have the Mandela effect sort of conspiracy theory that Black Panther is just Lion King. Okay, all right, let's do that one, huh? Let's play that game. So, um, yeah, say what you gotta say. We can make a whole podcast on just Black Panther is Lion King. I'll do it by myself. You don't even have to be here for that. We can go live on the Tiki Tacky or the Tube. Like, I'm here for it because what? Like so the bad guy did the I just can't wait to be king, right? As far as Simba and all that. And then Simba's like, so you just can't wait to Till your dad dies? What? You're rooting for the death of your father? Yeah. Ah, sorry. I know that you're all fuming and you're ready to talk to me, and that's fine. I'm ready to talk to you too. I've been standing on this stance since that movie came out. Am I lying or is that am I spot on? Like, do you remember me ever liking this movie?
No, no.
Not at all. Yes. I don't even oh, I'll do another one. Let's slide over into the music world. I don't even
Okay.
like the soundtrack, and y'all were gawking over
Oh,
that.
oh god, we've got to stop this right here. I and on that note, we are going to stop this
She's cutting me
blasphemy.
off.
I am cutting you off, like, I am so seriously about to mute you. What the hell is wrong with you? I ugh. Mm,
No, it's okay.
my feelings are hurt. My feelings are hurt.
It's fine. Bye,
But on
guys.
that note
I'm gonna mute myself while I while I laugh maniacally. You guys have a good day.
and it has come to that time where I end this on a note of send us your comments, slander her in the comments. I care not because I will not defend her because that last line was terrible. If you want to take up the last part of the space in our podcast and have something where you sponsor us to talk about your products, you can always reach out to me at librasgold@gmail.com or in the comment section for this. Coming up within the next couple of weeks, our podcast will also be available on YouTube so you guys can interact on there. You will find the YouTube channel at Libra's Gold on YouTube. And if there is nothing else that we have done today, I will say we have continued to push the question of who asked?